Hi, my name's Shane. I'm an alcoholic.
My name's John and I'm an alcoholic.
My name's Jane.
Jack's my name.
Hi, I'm Claire.
Hi, my name's Paul and I'm an alcoholic.
We would drink until the early hours of the morning, and then get hungover the following day and then get up and do it all again, go out to a lunchtime session and continue on. And I remember cracking a beer at about 6 o'clock in the morning as we went out, and Saturdays were totally wiped out because that was our drinking day. And that's what we did, and we did a lot of it.
When I found alcohol, it gave me the biggest, thrill, excitement. I loved the taste of it and I loved the effect of it. I didn't have to think anymore and I could bury the pain underneath it all.
I joined a company that your expense account was basically unlimited and you got into trouble if you didn't use it. So I drank it like most people, and I made sure that I was trusted, because if you drank you were trusted.
I'm a person that should never ever have picked up the first drink. I'd seen what alcohol had done to destroy my father as a practicing alcoholic. The one thing that I remember about his drinking is the fear that I experienced when he drank. He was just so unpredictable. And I vowed and declared from a very young age that I would never ever drink like my father. I knew from my very first drink that it had a profound effect on me. I felt differently after I'd had that first drink.
Can't remember much of the night except for sitting on a church door talking to a frog. And I remember my mum took me as well to see the Divinals when I was about 14, and she even bought me drinks at the Lismore Workers Club, and that's just how I was brought up.
I used to line up a couple of glasses at 12 o'clock on the bar, and I'd have 2 straight shots of, I guess it doesn't really matter what it was, but I'd have them there, and then a double Scotch and Coke. And I used to wait until midday before I'd put them straight down. And that was me. I wasn't an alcoholic because I could wait till midday. That was just one of the thousands of excuses I had for my behaviour and for my drinking.
And not only admitted I was an alcoholic, I accepted the fact that I was an alcoholic.
I tried so many times to get rid of those things that were causing me issues, but I didn't know how to do it. I tried the church, I tried going and confessing to a priest, and I tried all sorts, and nothing happened.
I got a sponsor who agreed to help me through the steps, and I did that step 1 completely and honestly. I should never have to go back and change anything about that first step.
When did I realise that my life had become unmanageable? I think for me, actually coming into AA and listening to that first member who came to my house and shared with me and going through and doing the steps. And he said to me, look and see where your life has become unmanageable. And in so many areas my life had become unmanageable. I would say each day, I am not going to go to the bottle shop. And I swear every day, my car drove itself to the bottle shop, and I would go to the bottle shop and I would get a couple of bottles of whatever, and I would continue to drink. I used to sit on my kitchen floor, as I had done a lot throughout my drinking. My kitchen floor was always a place that I would sit and get smashed on, and I would go over all the awful things that had happened to me and what I didn't have, and woe is Claire,
Somebody saved me throughout the years of my drinking, 25 years of it, and I don't know how I wasn't killed, run over, damaged. Something was watching me, something was watching over me, I believe, and I always seemed to make it home and I always seemed to be okay.
As soon as I walked in the AA room, I saw God on the wall and all these people smiling, and I was thinking, oh my God, they've got to be on something. This has got to be some sort of cult. And they were being so nice to me, and no one had been nice to me for so long, and at the end they wanted to hold my hand and chanting this weird stuff about God and trying to take my money, and I'm like, nah, this is so not for me. So I got the lady that took me to the meeting, I got her to drop me off at my pretend friend's house near the pub so I could go to the pub, and I got drunk straight away. Went home and my husband goes, geez, AA was good for you too, wasn't it?
I used to go to church, and then Dad passed away, so I figured that God had taken my father away and he was a prick, and so I didn't want nothing to do with him. But today I have a power greater than me, and it serves me well.
When my sponsor explained to me that it was a moral inventory of both negative and positive aspects of my life. I never believed that I had too much positiveness in my life at that time. Everything was negative, you know. We sat down and we started to write out some of this, as much as of the past as I could, both negative and positive. And I found that as bad as it was, it probably wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
I felt like I was not contributing anything. I felt like I was worthless. And at that time I thought the world would be a better place if I wasn't in it, you know. And Tony would say to me, "You don't even keep the place clean." And I remember thinking, nobody ever comes to visit me, you know, so why should I keep the place clean? I was frightened to answer the door. I was frightened to answer the telephone. I lived in this little world with myself and my son, and and it wasn't a nice place to be.
Step 4 was very difficult because I had a lot of people to make amends to. People I'd hurt in the family, people I'd hurt outside the family.
I done step 4 4 times. The last time I did it, I finally understood what it meant, because I wasn't cleaning out all the nasties out of the cupboard. The last time I did it, it was a thorough job.
Once I'd realised that I couldn't do this myself, then I began to accept the help. And it took me months to get through my list, to put it together. I didn't realise there was so much there.
Tried doing it on my own for 6 weeks and I couldn't. I was just going even crazier. I need someone to help me. No one understands. You probably don't want to talk to me after me ditching you last time, but she was so happy to hear from me, and it was then that I really listened to what she had to say, and I was ready. I was 100% committed to wanting to be sober and to live a new life, and I was ready to do anything. I would have done push-ups if she told me to.
2.5 hours and a lot of pain. And then on to step 5, and that's when the pain started to be released.
By the end of step 5, it was like I was walking on a cloud, you know. It was amazing. I just felt so light and so free.
And he was a person who was a member of this fellowship, and more importantly, he was a member that I trusted. I didn't want my behaviour to be broadcast around the community or around through AA, and I felt as though that I could trust this person not to do that.
Talking to someone else about this, I had to ask him if he was ready, not if I was ready. That was one big list, but I was ready too, and I desperately wanted to have God remove all those defects of character. Desperately wanted that. I needed that.
And it wasn't that anybody else knew, it was just that I knew. And I picked up a drink again and I just went right back from where I had come. You know, nothing had changed. All the misery, all the lying, the deceit, all of that came straight back. The bedwetting, the whole lot, you know, and it was awful.
Injure them or others. And I was talking to a chap who had a lot of years up, 27 years up sobriety up, and he said to me, "Listen here, you silly young bastard. You're one of the others, so you don't tell somebody that you went and jumped the fence and balked their missus, because you're going to get a flogging out of it. You've got to remember that you are one of the others." And it says when they injure them or others, and that doesn't mean physical pain. It could be mental, it could be anything.
I had nowhere else to go. You know, I knew that I could not do it on my own. And I moved down to Melbourne, and after 10 months I eventually came back into AA. And I asked somebody to be my sponsor, and they took me through the steps. And that's where I've stayed, one day at a time since then, you know, and it is just a fantastic place to be in. I would not swap it for the world.
There are some people that I haven't had a chance yet to make amends to, but this is what I love about this program. I am willing, I really am. And that's part of my healing process, and that's what works for me. They don't know about it, they don't even care. They're oblivious, but I'm ready. And I love this program. I love these words, "except where to do so would injure them or others."
Becoming willing, I think that's the key thing. I had travelled, and a lot of these people I knew I wasn't going to meet straight away. But over the years I have met them, you know, and I have fronted up and I have apologised in places that I needed to apologise, you know.
And so that's where my journey started with the AA program, and I've been 6 years sober now. It's the happiest I've ever been in my whole life. The fog lifted finally after a couple of years, and another couple of years I started to embrace life and just live life to the fullest. AA taught me to live one day at a time, and that's what really got me.
My life is just tremendous. It's given me back the love and respect of a couple of kids that I so richly deserved to lose, you know. And it's given me a tremendous way of life. And as good as my life is today, as good as it is, I don't delude myself that I'm cured. It's all still out there waiting for me for the price of one drink. If I pick up one drink, I'll go back far further than I've ever been in my life. And I honestly believe that I would never get back to this fellowship. My life would be very short-lived if I ever decide to wander away and do it my way.
I'm probably not that good at taking personal inventory, but I have some amazing friends who will help me do it. They're very quick to point out these things I need to work on. And that's just, again, another thing I love about the program. The people just helping you every step of the way. What more could you possibly want to get your life back together?
I have reached a calm and a quietness that I never ever thought that I would reach. And it is absolutely beautiful. I know that there's been times when I have been struggling with certain things, and I've struggled and struggled and struggled. And then suddenly this calm has come over me, and you know, I felt that it'll be all right kind of feeling, and it has been all right.
The main thing is I haven't had to pick up a drink to lessen the pain. And when I get that humble feeling, I feel better within myself.
Life has changed. I can live life without alcohol. Life is fun. I now have joy back. I don't want to suicide anymore. I take care of myself, and it's one day at a time. And it's the best I can do.
Today I have a great family and I have great friends, and I don't have the need to go out and drink. So for that I'm truly grateful.
The only time that I think drink, and it's not about having a drink, is when I get overtired. And you people have educated me to the fact that I shouldn't allow myself to get overtired, over thirsty or over hungry. But sometimes I do. And if I get overtired, you know, I start to think, if you walk past a pub or a club or a dive and you get the waft of that stale booze that comes out of those places, you hear the clinking of the glasses and the murmur of those highly intelligent conversations. And I know that I'm in trouble when I'm in that frame of mind. So it's not rocket science. You people have educated me to the fact that I go home, have a lie down, regroup and start again.
I don't really know how else to say it other than the fact that this program has saved my life. It's given me hope again. It's given me belief. It's given me happiness, friends. My family have come back into my life. Things are just happening now that are even better than I even dreamed were possible. True. And I truly believe, 100% without a doubt, that it is because of this program, because of these 12 steps, that has made for me a life, and a life worth living. And for that, I will just forever be grateful.
Yeah, AA just really changed everything for me, and to have such a great sponsor to take me through the steps and to guide me at the beginning was just amazing, because I definitely couldn't do it on my own.
It's just a tremendous way of life, and I owe it all to Alcoholics Anonymous.